I love you.
Yo! Yo! What's happening, man? Listen, I was just doing a show with my guy Lou, big Bronx fan. We're doing a show talking Juan Soto, talking everything going on with the New York Yankees. And what do I see pop up on my notifications? I'm so sorry I'm late. I didn't mean to be. I'm 10 minutes late right now. I apologize. Truly. Bang, bang. Let's go, Jack. I see you in the comments. Let's go. Yo, the Chicago Cubs, if anybody hasn't read the title or the description already, have signed Hector Neris to a 1-year, $9 million deal. At the age of 34, the right-handed reliever of the Houston Astros posted a 1.71 ERA in 2023. Absolutely phenomenal year. This isn't just a small sample size either. This isn't 20, 30, 40 games. He pitched in 71 games. The man was phenomenal. The man was out of this world, one of the better relievers in all of baseball. Now, is he Josh Hader-esque level? You know what I mean? Is there a lot that goes into this? There's a lot of different conversations. Now, what we need to understand is the momentum of 2024. Obviously, you're coming off a career year, a 1.71 ERA. Absolutely phenomenal. Hunter, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate the comment. I appreciate that truly. But looking at that and understanding, listen, here's where we're at. Here's where we're at right now. Hector Neris, coming off of this season, has been one of the better pitchers in all of baseball. Now, history's past has told us from his entire career, I believe he has a career of a 3.24 ERA. That's where it's really going to range, anywhere from 3 to 350. That's really kind of his ballpark. Sometimes he's in the mid twos, 250, 240. Are we going to expect a 1.71 ERA going into 2024? Of course not. If it happens, phenomenal. Not saying it can't. If it happens, that's great. But we're sitting here today seeing a guy who is reliable, who has playoff experience, and a guy who's been there when it matters most. Now, the question is, from a couple people in the comments and from myself as well, is where is he going to fit? Is he going to be a setup guy? Is he going to be the closer? Personally, myself, I'm still a huge believer in Adbert Alzolay. I still think you're going to see him be the closer of this team unless, truthfully, you're looking at a guy like Hector and saying, hey, man, he's duplicating exactly what happened in 2023. There's no way we can go around it. It's really just what we have going on. But it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun to see what could potentially happen for the Cubs. Yency Almonte is one of those guys as well who, every other year he's either great or he's horrible. So, last year he was horrible. So maybe this is the other year, the even number years he's great, odd number years he's awful. So to have Adbert, to have Yency, to have Julian, to have Mark Leiter and all these other cats, you're and obviously, you're going to look at the bullpen as well in the minor leagues. The guys like Ben Brown who are going to come up and potentially try to make a rotation spot, maybe have to sit in the bullpen until a spot opens up from Kyle Hendricks or whoever. But with that being said, there's a lot of guys, the Luke Littles of the world, the Javier Assads, this bullpen's looking better every single day. We just signed, for everybody just tuning in, Hector Neris to a 1-year, $9 million deal. And last night, the Chicago Cubs signed 2016 World Series champion, former Chicago Cub Carl Edwards Jr. to a minor league deal. Now, is he going to be in the majors? I'm going to say on opening day, no, depending on how spring training goes. You never know. But if somehow, some way he finds his way back in the friendly confines, that's even better. You know what I mean? We know what he brings. Carl Edwards Jr. is an absolute monster, and we know what he was for the Chicago Cubs team of 2016. So, I'm willing to give that a chance. I'm willing to bring him back on a minor league deal. There's no harm in that. To obviously bring in the bigger name in Hector Neris. That was the big one. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. I think there's a lot of conversations about where we're going in the future when it comes to the development of this rotation. I think when you talk about guys like Shota Imanaga, Justin Steele, Jameson Tyone, those are great names, but the bigger picture is always going to be Justin Steele, Cade Horton, Jordan Wicks, Ben Brown, guys like that. We have the entire farm ready for major league pitching. I truly believe that. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that there's a real conversation that the bullpen could be just as strong, if not stronger, than the starting rotation. The bullpen is coming into itself, and I love that. And especially when you have Craig Counsell managing games, putting guys in the right position to have success, I think it's going to be really interesting. Now, there's a couple comments here because one comment is from CJ Gons, and the other is from Jack. Now, both of you mentioned great things. CJ mentioned Wesneski, Hayden Wesneski being on the 40-man roster. He's been somewhat of a disappointment to many Cubs fans. Jack mentions Caleb Killian. Those are two guys that I feel like could potentially be trade pieces at some point during the 2024 season. That's really where I'm at this current point. When you look at guys like Cade, when you look at guys like Ben and Jordan, those guys aren't going anywhere. Justin Steele, Shota, and James Tyone aren't going anywhere. So guys like Caleb Killian, guys like Hayden Wesneski, Javier Assad, unfortunately, do enter those trade conversations because of the fact that we just have such a swamped starting pitching depth right now, which is a great problem to have. You know what I mean? You can never have too much. I mean, we just traded Jackson Ferris, for Christ's sake. I mean, trading a left-handed hitter or a left-handed pitcher out of high school is pretty much unheard of. You know what I mean? Especially at the validity that he has been doing it at. So, to say that we're doing that, it's interesting. It's interesting. I see one of the comments. Who's that signed jersey? It is Richard Dent, my friend. Richard, let me move that over for you guys. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Chicago Cubs. Now, obviously, our big one is going to be Cody Bellinger. There's no question about it. We're all still waiting for Cody. We're all still waiting for the conversations about, is he going to be a Cub? Is he not? What's going to happen? Where is Scott Boras and Jed Hoyer at right now in their conversations? And for me, listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this with my chest. Be patient. Be patient. Be lovely. Be kind. Because Jed is doing everything right now the right way, and I think that doesn't get talked about enough. I need Cody Bellinger in the Chicago Cubs uniform. Don't get that twisted. Don't get that misconstrued. We need our face of the franchise. But when you also look at what the Cubs are putting together right now, they're putting together a team that is going to have longevity and have sustained success. When you look at the Pete Crow Armstrongs, the Kevin Alcantaras, the Cade Hortons, the Jordan Wicks, the Michael Bushes of the world, the James Triantoses, the BJ Murrays, the list goes on. We can do this all day. We had 7 players in MLB's top 100 farm system. It's crazy. In the entire pipeline, we have 7 guys in the top 100. And we got a lot more guys on the rise. We got a lot of guys already in the bigs. So to say we already have guys like Christopher Morel, Shota Imanaga, Justin Steele, Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson, Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, the list goes on top of having 7 guys who are coming up and guys who are going to be here very soon from 2024 to 2025. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to see this all transpire. So when you talk about Cody Bellinger, I am with you. We need Cody Bellinger in a Cubs uniform, especially after watching what the Dodgers and the Braves and the Phillies have been able to do. And it's even a team that hasn't had success but is doing it is the San Diego Padres. They may not be winning, but hey, at least they're spending. At least they're trying. So yeah, we're top 7 right now in salary cap with the Chicago Cubs in all of baseball. I believe they said it's 6 or 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. But we're the Cubs, so why not bring in Belly? You know what I mean? If you think he's worth 150, what's 170? What's 200? You know what I mean? What is it to you, really? If it comes down to winning championships, to winning division banners, to winning titles, to winning pennants. If it all comes down to it at the end of the day that Cody Bellinger is the deciding factor for the Chicago Cubs to go from second place to division champions, why wouldn't you do it? Even if it costs an extra $50 million. Jack made a great comment, and a lot of fans, have this problem. It's not my money. Exactly. It's not. So why do we care? Now, I get why Jed cares. It's his job to care. But if you're the Ricketts, you believe in yourself. You have a hotel, you have a network, you have an entire fucking north side division of Chicago in Wrigleyville, which is now not even Wrigleyville, it's Wrigley World. You have the DraftKings casino being built inside. You're going to sit up here today and tell me that you're not willing to give Cody Bellinger an extra $50 million after batting over 300 with 26 home runs, over 10 stolen bases, and the best Gold Glove defense you've had at center field in decades? And on top of that, amazing defense at first base as well. I mean, the guy not only won comeback player of the year, but finished top 5 in the MVP voting in the National League. You're going to sit here and tell me he's not worth $200 million when a guy like Yamamoto gets $300 million and he hasn't had a single game in the MLB yet? Get a guy like Mike Trout making over $400 million. A guy like Bryce Harper making over $350. You're going to tell me that an MVP candidate isn't worth 2? We got to be real. We got to be real. But amazing signing from the Cubs today. Again, Hector Neris on a 1-year, $9 million deal coming off a 1.71 ERA with the Houston Astros in 2023 and 71 games played. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's been great. It's been great. It's really one of those things where this is a move that is going to put us in a trajectory to have success come the postseason, come September. This is a guy who understands what we're doing and how to win and the formula it takes. Like I said, we got to surround us with winners. You bring in Craig Counsell. You bring in Dansby Swanson, World Series champion. Yan Gomes, World Series champion. Cody Bellinger, World Series champion. Several guys on this team have had success. Kyle Hendricks is still here, World Series champion. Carl Edwards Jr. is kind of in the fold again. We'll see what happens. Shout out Carl. But yeah, man, it's a blast. It's a blast. But that's our breaking news today. Make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't already for all your up-to-date Chicago Cubs daily content on TikTok or on Instagram at theshy.kid. Until then, we'll check you guys out later today. We'll be going live talking everything NBA and NFL. We'll be back. I hope you guys enjoy the weekend of NFL playoffs, baby. Chiefs versus Ravens tomorrow. Lions versus 49ers. It's going to be an absolute blast. Until then, peace.